Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. So as you know, I've been covering the Empire magazine Mandalorian stories, but today we have another tidbit from Jon Favreau, which puts an old fan theory to rest once and for all. The creator of the series, along with Dave Filoni, know how much Star Wars fans absolutely adore Grogu, not just as an adorable MacGuffin, but as a genuinely interesting character in his own right, particularly as we plough forward into Season 3. Now arguably the biggest appeal when he first appeared on our screens in 2019 was that he's a Yoda species. Fans have been speculating on connections between Grogu and Yoda and Yaddle pretty much since the beginning, and one theory posited that Grogu might be a clone. Now Kuiil, before he dies in Season 1, shoots down this idea. When Din Djarin asks him if Grogu might be a Strandcast, Kuiil replies he's worked in the gene farms, and he doesn't think Grogu's engineered. And for the longest time, that was our answer, but some fans weren't convinced. There was an argument to be made that maybe Kuiil got it wrong. Some fans still thought he might be a clone of Yoda. But when Empire magazine asked Jon Favreau if there's any truth to the theory, here's what he said. We knew it wasn't Yoda. Anybody who knows the time frame 5 years after Return of the Jedi knows that it can't be him. Is it a clone? There's a lot of cloning going on, but he's his own person, with his own history. So there is the answer. Jon Favreau acknowledges there is a lot of cloning, and he's referring to the Imperial Remnant and what they're doing to bring the Emperor back, and that involves the Snoke clones and that kind of thing. But as for Grogu, he himself is not a clone. Moff Gideon was trying to use his blood for cloning due to its high M count, but Grogu himself is an organic non-clone, just a 50-year-old Yoda species, and this is now confirmed. Really awesome stuff. And I do have a question for you guys. Now that we've had 2 seasons of The Mandalorian and 1 season of the Book of Boba Fett, what is a Grogu fan theory you still hold on to? And this can be about his future or his past, and I say that because it might be related to Order 66, so share your thoughts on this in the comments down below. And so now my dear Mandalorians, in yesterday's video, we spoke about Naboo possibly appearing in Andor's 2nd season. That was a scoop by MakingStarWars.net, and a big question I had is what would be the reason? I posited a couple of theories, but today I've got some more. I did mention Luthen knowing about Palpatine, or maybe being a long-lost relative, someone who knows about his royal backstory. He might also know of a secret base or hideout on Naboo that the Emperor assumed no one knew about. But Luthen aside, what if it has something to do with Kleya? A couple of months ago, I theorized she could have been a handmaiden. She dresses like one, has Padme's episode 2 headdress. And we know from the comics that a few handmaidens following the death of Padme investigated what happened. Some of them had a disgust and hatred towards the Empire and Darth Vader. It's not too far-fetched to suggest that she at one stage might have been a Naboo handmaiden, one who, just like Sabe, had a vested interest in taking down the Empire, a handmaiden turned rebel. On top of this, at this time in the galaxy, Captain Panaka from the prequels would be a Naboo governor and an Imperial Moff. There's a massive connection with him and Saw Gerrera, who following his appearances in Season 1 and Rogue One is set to have a bigger role in the 2nd season. In 3BBY, which is 1 year into Andor Season 2, Saw Gerrera and his partisans blew up Panaka, so they might show us that mission in the show. Between Luthen's speculation, Kleya and Saw Gerrera, there are lots of possible Naboo connections. And so now my dear friends, we're just over a week away from The Mandalorian Season 3, and as you might be aware, Pedro Pascal has been doing quite a lot of interviews. Well, in one of them, he admitted he's a big Ewok fan. Let's dive into this. Although some fans might disagree with him, The Mandalorian star Pedro Pascal's favourite Star Wars movie is Episode 6 Return of the Jedi, which is quite convenient considering The Mandalorian takes place in the aftermath of the original trilogy, 5 years after Episode 6, and Pedro also admits he really likes the Ewoks. One belief amongst Star Wars fans is that out of the original trilogy, Return of the Jedi was the lesser of the 3 films, while Episode 5 The Empire Strikes Back is the best. That's a common view, but of course there are a lot of fans who absolutely love Episode 6 and do say it's their favourite. Additionally, the Ewoks inclusion at the time received a lot of backlash and criticism. Some fans just didn't understand that creative decision, but for Pedro Pascal, and I suppose quite a few fans, that was one of the best parts. While appearing on The Late Show with Seth Meyers, Pedro praised Episode 6, saying that it's his favourite, quote, because of the Ewoks. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a big fan of Ewoks as well. Return of the Jedi is by no means my favourite Star Wars film, but I love those little creatures, especially the adorable baby Nippet. Seth Meyers agreed with Pascal, and Pedro added, "It's like we're not allowed to admit it." The most recent live-action appearance of Ewoks was in 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. We've not yet seen them in The Mandalorian. There was a bit of hope back in 2021 when Temuera Morrison confused Jawas with Ewoks in an interview, and a lot of fans got their hopes up when he said he loved working with them. We were disappointed when we learned the truth that he was talking about Jawas, who of course did appear in both The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, not to mention their appearance in Boba was a reference to the Ewoks animated series from the 80s. Lucasfilm is not shying away from adorable creatures though, because on top of Grogu and some other familiar faces, The Mandalorian Season 3 is reintroducing Anselans, the same species as Babu Frick, as seen in Episode 9. Now recently some Star Wars fans thought they spotted a new Ewok, a new type of Ewok, but it's not. I'm of course referring to a new series, Young Jedi Adventures. This is something I spoke about in my news update a couple of days ago, and there's one new character who's caught everyone's attention, just because of how adorable he is. His name is Nubs. Now when I first saw him I thought, that's really cute, it's kind of like a blue teddy bear, and then I realised his name Nubs is probably after Yub-Nub, as in the Ewok celebration at the end of episode 6. So then I thought, so this must be like a new sort of Ewok, a blue Ewok. But no, if you go to Wikipedia, a fantastic source for all Star Wars fans, they list him as a Pooba. Now I've never heard of a Pooba before, so I thought, is this some sort of poodle? You know, the crossbreed poodles are really popular at the moment, like Cavapoos and Cockapoos and Labradoodles. But no, it's a new species altogether. And it turns out, I think they come in more than one colour, but Nubs is a blue one. His affiliation is the Jedi Order. He was alive 200 years before The Phantom Menace and was trained by Yoda. I know this series is aimed at kids, but I think it's adorable. I can't wait to see it. I'll watch anything Star Wars as long as it's good, so fingers crossed. I've seen a lot of people kind of crap on this style of animation and not enjoy this kind of thing, but I think it's cute, and it's officially the first High Republic series, because The Acolytes comes in 2024, and this one is out this year, so bring on Nubs. I'm actually very excited for this. And so finally guys, after Secrets of the Jedi and Secrets of the Sith, another book in the series has been announced for October. Secrets of the Wookiees. This is a reference guide that will feature every major Wookiee in the saga, as well as information about them. It does seem appropriate considering Chrysanthemum's appearance in the Book of Boba Fett and Gungi in the Bad Batch Season 2. Hopefully they also canonize some fan favourite video game Wookiees like the ones featured in Knights of the Old Republic. Wookiees are great, and there's so much lore surrounding them, but just as many mysteries as well. I'm definitely going to be covering this. Fingers crossed they also include some of Chewbacca's family from the holiday special. But what do you guys think? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you always.